Welcome to the Americas Table, hosted by the Georgetown Americas Institute, where we sit down with leaders from the region that have transformed their vision into reality. Today we have a very special episode featuring Georgetown's Competitive Leadership Awardees. This award, the highest recognition granted to GCL alumni, was created by the Georgetown University's Latin America Leadership Program. And today we're here with Jenifer Colpas, who has been awarded the GCL Impact Award for 2022. Her GCL project, Tiradata, which she co-founded, provides portable sanitation, energy and water infrastructure to remote and vulnerable communities in the Caribbean and Pacific regions of Colombia through a service, subscription, and community training and empowerment model. In 2021, Jenifer was also selected as the 2021 Top CNN Hero. We're very happy to have you at the Americas Table, Jenifer. Please tell us about Tiradata.
Muni, thank you so much. Well, Tiradata is a social entrepreneurship that works in Colombia in rural, remote areas to provide access to basic services. So in these communities, they usually don't have access to any services. It means no access to drinkable water, no toilet, and not electricity. So what we do with very easy solutions, innovative, and very adapted to the context, to the rural context, we bring them, the solutions to this rural community, together with a social intervention process that is kind of the heart of what we do, where we ensure that all the solutions can last long in every community. So far, we have benefit more than 12,000 people for 7 rural communities in Colombia. And well, yeah, we also work mainly with women because we understand that they are kind of agents of develop within their own communities, and also the one that's the most suffering because of they don't have access to mainly to water and also toilets. So that's why we are working together with them.
Tell us a little bit about how you started.
Well, it started in 2015. I used to do volunteering in different organizations, and I remember it was like a Sunday in a very poor it was a urban community in Cartagena, in my city, in the Caribbean part of Colombia. And we were there, and we were together with other friends, and we, every one of us used to have also to do volunteering in their organizations and in different moments. And we were talking about what to do to really transform this difficult situation that we were facing, or the people were facing. And we knew that there was already innovative solutions to solve this problem. And we knew it the farther you are from the city, the difficult is to have access to basic services. So we decided to connect this need in the rural community with the solutions that we already know exist.
I'm sure there were many challenges in trying to provide these services. What are some of the hurdles that you overcame, and how did you do it?
Well, the first one, we were young. We were very young. I mean, it was
You're still very young.
Years. Yeah, it was 6 years ago. And actually, we had one of the co-founders, he was 17 years old. And at this age, saying, okay, I really want to transform rural areas in Colombia. I have this idea. We want to bring them clean energy, eco toilets. And it was not easy. We have kind of lack of credibility for the institutions, mainly for the government, for the private. It was difficult at the beginning to do that. But the way we overcome this, it was just keep trying and start doing pilots by ourselves. So that when we can have results to show them, okay, this idea is really working, it's really happening. And after that, we start having partnerships, and it was easier after that.
Do you have the dream of making this program grow across Colombia and maybe across the region?
Yeah, actually, Tiradata is thought to be a Latin American provider to access to basic services for the rural. So we have been developing all these solutions to be adapted to the rural areas in Latin America. So we start just in the Caribbean region. We are now in the Pacific, and we want to also to work in other in other countries in Latin America. But let me tell you the other 2 challenges. So the other one, it was, I guess, this most of the entrepreneur face is the lack of access to funding. But again, we were talking with a lot of people, and we for this part, I guess it was more persistent for our side to keep trying. I guess we had from 10 proposals, we had just one yes, but we get this yes still working, like go to the rural communities, get the results again, and keep working. And the other one, it was more regarding with the community. It was very difficult at the beginning to build trust, because the rural communities in Colombia, they are used to have promises that never became reality. So it was the hardest work, actually. So we decided to understand more them. We were like almost every weekend in the community, we start like living together with them, and with empathy, we start building this trust with them. Because like at the end, we are working together with them, and all the solutions that we are developing is like for the benefits. So they also have to trust on us to really like build it together.
Who are your partners? The governments, NGOs, other organizations, the private sector?
Well, we have, all of these ones, because it's not easy to get to these really remote communities. So we kind of map the different stakeholders that are in one region. So we first work with community-based organizations that are the ones that already exist in the community. Then we map if there is private organizations around that maybe is not working with the organization, but still in the region, and also with the public organizations. So we like kind of make this network every time we are going to work in a community.
And in your growth efforts, you're looking for partners in other countries, in other regions of Colombia?
Yes, actually, when we decided to move to the Pacific region, we did it with a GCL alumni. There is the major from Timbiquí. So she helped us to move to the Caribbean region, to the Pacific region. It was the first time we worked there, because like we didn't know the place, and she, of course, she make us talk with the leader. She helped us to go there to this really like difficult to reach community.
So this is a program about leadership. Will you tell us a little bit about your inspiration, the people who, or mentors or examples that you followed in creating this wonderful program?
Yeah, well, I got inspired mainly with the personal life of many of my colleagues in that time in 2019 mainly. I remember one of them like used to have like a very hard life before like coming here, before doing what they are doing. And also I learned a lot in this like almost 6 years already like working and doing leadership. And I guess one of the lessons learned, I can say it could be like the better you know yourself, the better leader you can be, because you know like your strength, you know also your weakness, and you can make better like doing this, because it is okay to have role models, but also like you need to know what about you. I mean, I can admire one person, but I need to understand what is about me that can be also a leader. So for me, this is one of the important. And also, I have learned that to team up, it's like very important, because I cannot do anything of this without my team, and also without the community. It would be like impossible to do it without them. And also, regarding leadership, I guess it's important like to identify your own like authenticity, to make it like on your own way. I guess it's very important, because it's not other ways, it's your own way. And Tiradata is a lot about me, and also about the other co-founders. So like the philosophy behind Tiradata, the way that we are doing things, it's about us also. And it have been built also together with the community, but it's about us.
Fantastic. Great experience. Congratulations on the award and on the fantastic work that you do. Thank you for joining us on the Americas Table. Our guest, Kenneth Gent from Chile, is the winner of the 2021 Georgetown Global Competitive Leadership Award for the impact he's achieved in the Latin American region through his project Plan País Aprendo Jugando, and his work with Momento Cero and Fundación Entrepreneur, dedicated to promoting innovation and education both in Chile and at the rest of Latin America. Momento Cero and Fundación Entrepreneur specialize in educational entertainment through the use of games, digital platforms, and digital training. These interactive and innovative educational tools empower both teachers and students with skills and competency for the 21st century. Today, they have reached more than 80,000 students and professors and are scaling to more than 10 Latin American countries. Welcome, Kenneth, and congratulations for this great work.
Thanks, Muni. It's a pleasure to be with you here.
Well, tell us a little bit about the impact of Plan País Aprendo Jugando in Chile, and how was it different and innovated in comparing it to other educational programs?
I would separate the dimensions of the impact according to its nature. Because if we are talking education, you need to have long-term vision. So if we are talking about impact, it's necessary to understand that one dimension is innovation, another one is technical, methodological, and educational, and the third one is strategic. In innovation, we have been working by 17 years. So Plan País Aprendo Jugando is the result of all that time working and generating solutions. We have developed and improved the solutions doing the job in the field in many regions of Chile and many countries of Latin America. So the solutions are replicable, transferable, and scalable. And this is really important, and this is the most important difference, because if you don't have that characteristics, you cannot impact in a high scale. And the fourth is gamification, use of technology, and merit incentives, because we need that teachers they need to get the best results after their work. And this is very important because our educational systems in Latin America tend to be flat. So you need to find the spirit of the teacher.
Can you explain what a game looks like, or is it an app, or what is it operational?
Country Plan Learn by Playing has different focus. First, personal finances, entrepreneurial spirit, citizenship and social sense, and STEAM. So for each focus, we have developed different tools, platforms, games, and methodology. For example, for personal finance, we have a game called Finance City. That it was the game that when I became a GCL fellow, I decided to transform to digital. That was 8 years ago. So I took 6 years in terms of complete that program. Why Country Plan Learn by Playing today is a reality? Because we transform all that things to digital, and we can put today in a physical way or in a digital way the same experience. And another game is El Plan. Another platform is Ludotech Academy. So we have a tool of different
How
solutions.
do you measure the impact of these tools? I'm sure you've developed a set of kind of indicators that will tell you how well they're working.
It's an excellent question. And again, we need to answer thinking in the dimensions, because in innovation way, for example, we need to understand in public policy in Chile. Before us, it wasn't necessary by law to teach in that things. And we generated solutions many years before. Today, it's an obligation to do personal finances, to do entrepreneurial education, and to do citizen training. So we generate the solutions before. So now the schools have the solutions available, because we thought before. This is very strange, of course, but I think that this is the most important thing. Also, in terms of impact, of course, the number of teachers that we are training, the number of students we impact in terms of learn by playing through them. And of course, also, we are all the time developing service of perception in terms of brings data, and we have an application that all the time is giving us information in terms of the impact.
That's fantastic, and I'm sure you're using the same technology to develop the games and also to measure the impact.
Yeah, I know if it's the same technology, we have different platforms, but it's like an ecosystem, because you need to impact inside the classroom, outside, in the strategic way. For example, if we do not create learning communities with teachers and directors that continue being in contact with us by the time, we are not generating impact. We need to become, in the time, a good partner.
You use the word partner quite a bit. I'm sure that's part of your success. What are the type of partnerships that you have made, both in Chile and outside, to make this project work?
I think that this is one of the key of our success. All the time, we are trying to generate good alliances with the public, private, and academic sector. But of course, because we are bringing social problems and political problems to those institutions, that, of course, they know that the problems are there, but how you can generate something valuable or reduce the gap. And we provide them the technical ways and the solutions. So, of course, we generate projects with public sector. We build relation with universities for training teachers or academics and generate information. So, and of course, private sector puts money, give us donations, or we generate activities and programs for social responsibility areas or public affairs.
We're going to talk about leadership in a minute, which is the kind of the story of this America's Table. But before, just tell us briefly how this started. You said 17 years ago.
Good question. I'm a civil engineer and a structural one. So I studied at the university how to build something like this building. So what did I know about education? Almost nothing. But I really believed that everyone has the talent. So if you give to the people the opportunity, they will learn. But I couldn't understand how we are not producing the change in the way of entrepreneurial spirit and, of course, the talent of people. So for my surprise, no one in my country, in my language, was developed this kind of solutions. So that was the first step.
That was a great segue into leadership. I'm sure you have had, again, mentors and people who have inspired you, but also you inspire others. Can you give us a little bit of an example of each?
Yeah, I'm really lucky, and during all my life I have been many masters. I have a wonderful board with people really committed with my activity. In school, I had excellent teachers, and currently I used to work with people that they know than one. If you want to go fast, you need people that gives you things that you don't have, and these kind of changes draw the culture, draw the relation, and if you want to get or produce innovation, you need talent, and leadership is fundamental.
What advice would you have to other students at Georgetown and other people working in organizations such as yours?
Wow, don't lose time. Don't think that you cannot get the impact that you are thinking, and be very clear in terms of your goals. We are not generating partnerships with everybody. We need only the institutions that really are committed with the goals that we are. So if you are really committed, we can build many things together. But the commitment is something that must be in medium to long terms. It's not short, it's not fast, it's not easy.
So true. Kenneth Gent from Chile, thank you so much. Congratulations on your award and on the wonderful work that you do.
Thank you, Muni.
We are here at the table with the winner of 2020's Georgetown Global Competitive Leadership Awardee, and her name is Allison Silva from Bolivia. Through her foundation, Emprender Futuro, Allison has been a catalyst for the development of new opportunities in Bolivia with scale-up entrepreneurship and women in tech education. The platforms Bolivia Emprende, El Efecto Gratitud, and Mujeres 360 help build community and multiplier effects around women and men entrepreneurs. By promoting soft skills like empathy and gratitude as sources for empowerment, she has co-founded tech solutions and several companies, and has been recognized by multiple foundations and entrepreneur networks, and also was representative for Bolivia in the Global Entrepreneurship Summit. Welcome, Allison. You've been a true source of inspiration for women across the region.
Good afternoon, and I am so happy to be here.
Well, welcome, and we're here very excited to know about your work on entrepreneurship and women in tech that you've been doing for such a long time. And what do you think has been the greatest accomplishment?
We create a sustainable model between our company and the foundation because we have the nonprofit experience, but we also have the private sector experience. So we try to join the strategy with the purpose. That's why we create impact. And this is an accomplishment because this model is new when you are trying to make impact, but I think it's the best because you can reach and you can take the best of the both worlds.
Tell us a little bit about the model.
Okay, you have a foundation, you create impact to the people, and then you have what's good in the private sector, the efficiency. So you took the efficiency and you put it in the nonprofit institutions to create more impact, to do more with less, to be more too close to people. So that's why we created this model, and this model is our greatest accomplishment.
You work a lot with women. What are some of the traits that you see that make women a good kind of stakeholder for this program? And then I'd like you to share some of the challenges that you face.
Well, there are a lot of traits. For example, when we developed this program that is called Mujeres 360, we help them to build their auto-efficacy through discipline, to focus on what matters, to empathy. But there are a lot of challenges as well. For example, when you're learning technology, you need all of the traits I've mentioned before, but you also need to see what are you facing. For example, there is a lack of opportunities, and we have to fight for them to look for these opportunities. Another thing is that we have to break paradigms because sometimes our students don't think that they can do many jobs that are required in this industry, technology and digital industry. So we work hard on the soft skills, but in the technical skills as well. So that's what we do for them.
And what are the challenges that in education that women have faced in Latin America, in Bolivia, I'm sure is not as an exception?
The last 2 years, the challenges were about the access to education, to a good education. For example, the access to internet was one of the problems. The other one was that the access to see, for example, when you are studying for the future, sometimes you don't think what are you going to study, because you just study to be a lawyer or to be an engineer or whatever. But what we do is we analyze the market and see what are the professions, what are the skills that are needed in the jobs of the future. So we tend them to say, okay, everything is based on technology, so why don't you study the STEM careers? So that's what we do. And this was bad during these last years, but the last 2 years was even worse because they didn't access to these opportunities, but they didn't know that technology was an opportunity for them.
That's so interesting. You use the word future quite often, and you're always looking ahead. You've created so many solutions, foundations, organizations. What do you have on your radar in the future?
Well, we are creating a company that is called LinkSpace. And what does it mean? Is a new way of building projects, a new way of creating business. That's LinkSpace. And the other big challenge that we have is to scale up the project through Latin America. Why? Because this problem that we have in Bolivia is the same that is happening around the world and around our continent. So we are scaling up the project. And the third one is that we are going to impact through our ecosystem, the entrepreneurial ecosystem in my country. And we've already wrote 3 publications with other institutions, the technology and digital mapping report of my country. So we want to add information, we want to add suggestions of how can we build the path for this ecosystem through public policies.
Finally, let's talk about leadership. What are some of the mentors that you have had in the past, and what are some of the lessons you can teach to young women in Bolivia and abroad?
Fortunately, I had a lot of mentors. And what I've learned from them is, first, these values, integrity. The other values I've learned from them is, for example, don't give up, never give up, think big. And the most important one is one that I've learned here in Georgetown, that is a multiplier effect. It's not a value, but it's like a way of thinking of how you can create a solution to a problem and how you can multiply the solution in order to improve the lives of the people. And one thing that I've learned is that these mentors were in my life when I was not so young. That's why I strongly believe in this phrase. First, everyone can become a change maker, and the second one is be the person you needed when you were younger. That's why we create opportunities, and that's why we work strong in a very strong way to help other people and to create these spaces in which they can flourish.
Allison Silva, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and a very great example of women in sectors that are usually not dominated by women in the Americas. Thank you so much for joining us in the Americas Table. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Moni.